I'm going to bring you behind the scenes into how I live stream on the Amazon platform. I'm going to share with you equipment, software, my overall thought process before I go live, because I want to make sure that the show is a great experience for the viewers, but also gets the attentions of brands and sponsors. Because as an Amazon live streamer, it's pretty easy to connect with companies and have them send you products and also have them compensate you for talking about their products and featuring them on Amazon. So I'm going to walk you through how I get started, the prep, the actual live streaming, and what I do at the end of the show as well. So if you're brand new here and you're not subscribed to the channel yet, my name is Monte Weaver and I help you navigate this world of digital, tech, and social media. So let's get started with setting up our Amazon live stream and going live, because we have a show in about an hour and a half for today's live stream. Now, before I get started going live, I need to think about what I want to focus on for my Amazon show. I like to focus on tech-related products. So what I'm going to do today is focus on my home studio setup and really talk about the products that I use every single day. Because if you talk about products that you physically have, it's a lot easier to showcase them on Amazon Live, and the viewer experience will be much better because they'll actually be able to know that you have and use the products. Now, you can talk about products that you don't own. I do that sometimes as well. Products that I wish I owned, but I know enough information about them. You can talk about those as well. But I'm going to focus today on products that I have here physically and just be able to showcase them during my Amazon Live. Now, one rule of thumb is going live for more than 5 minutes. You may want to go live for about an hour. That's what I recommend, and that's kind of what Amazon recommends. Because if you go live for about an hour, this will allow more viewers to come and see your broadcast. This will allow more companies to come across your videos in real time and have them reach out to you. Now, I'm going to get started first by designing a graphic for the show. I use a software called Thumbnail Blaster, but you can use any software out there to create a thumbnail graphic. Now, you really want to have a graphic that stands out, because as people are going through the Amazon live streams tab and your graphic stands out, that'll give you a higher chance of getting that visibility, which is what we all want when streaming on the platform. So I'm going to get started by selecting a template that I have here called Tech Gear Gadgets, and simply replacing the name. We'll call this live streaming, and let's say Tech Gear. Now, I already have some graphics that I brought in that I have saved, so I'm just going to simply download this graphic, and then I need to send this graphic to myself. Because the Amazon Live platform is app-based right now, I need to be able to send this graphic to myself and put it into the app. So the easiest way for me to do it is to actually go into my Facebook account and send a message to myself. So I'll go to myself, I'll grab my graphic and send it to myself. Now, once I've sent the graphic to myself, I'll go into my phone and I'll save my graphic into my picture roll. Then I'll go into my Amazon Live app and begin creating my show. So I'll select plus sign. I'll navigate to my file, and now I have my graphic for my show. Next step is to add the products that I'm going to be talking about. And the easiest way to add products to your show is to create your product storefront. And that way your products will already be listed in your idea list and your storefront, and you can simply select them and add them to your show. Now, you can go in and manually find those and use the ASIN numbers, but it's a little more of a tedious process. So I'm going to start by going into my mobile live streaming setup and looking for items that I want to talk about during today's show. So I have a laptop that I want to feature. I have a monitor that I'll talk about, Elgato. So I'm just going to quickly go through and add up to 40 items in my carousel. Because as an insider, I have 40 items that I can add in the carousel. So I want to make sure that I fill it all up, right? So that more people can see the different items that I use and want to talk about today. So as I go through here, I'm looking for items that I know without a shadow of a doubt are going to be easy for me to talk about, because talking about products for an hour can seem like a long time. But if you're comfortable with talking about certain products, it makes the time go by much faster. Now that I've reached the 40 items that I want to talk about in my show, what I like to do personally is just go through and reorder them in a way that makes it easier for me to talk about during the live stream. And it makes it easier for the audience to follow along. So because I'm talking a lot about tech, I want to kind of prioritize different equipment by computers, lighting, microphones, and so on. So in order to do that, I'll start by going into the edit section and just simply rearranging the items here on my list. Now that I have my items arranged on my list, the next part is to add a title and schedule my live streams. So I'll go into the title section, and what I typically like to do is just name them the same thing on my graphical thumbnail, but it can be something different if you would like. So I'm going to type in live streaming tech gear and save. My show time, I want to put for 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the reason that you would want to add a specific time is because when individuals go to the Amazon live streaming section, they can actually see upcoming shows. So you want to make sure that you're seen ahead of time, because there may be people that love the title of your show and would like to attend if you just scheduled it ahead of time, rather than just randomly showing up and going live. Once I do that, I'll save it. The next section is the video source. Now, you can go live directly from your mobile device or your iPad device, but I like to use my computer and all this equipment that I got, so I need to put it to use. So what I do is select the external camera, and then I'll grab the RTMP and the stream key information, and just like I send that over to myself via Facebook Messenger for the thumbnail images, I literally copy and paste that information as well and send it to myself. If there's any promo codes, I can add those, and I can share a link to my live stream using the share link at the bottom. Now that we have that done, we're going to jump over to the computer and get started with the live streaming software to actually make this show look amazing. So as someone that live streams on a regular basis, I'm familiar with a lot of the live streaming platforms. Whether you want to go web-based or software-based platforms, it's totally up to you. Today, I'm going to be using my Wirecast software and connecting it to my Switchboard software, because I really want to be able to get more people to watch my Amazon live show. And you can use whatever platforms you want, but always having more viewers is better than having less. So I'm going to get started setting up my show in Wirecast. So Wirecast allows me to see a preview side and a production side. So what I'm going to do is grab my image that I downloaded earlier from my graphic and add that onto the screen here. And what I also have is a countdown timer, because I like to have a countdown timer before I go live. This allows me to test and make sure that volume is working, video is working before I actually start talking on live stream. So it's kind of one of those things I like to have in place. Then I have another slide just for my graphic, because sometimes I need to do a cutaway shot, so I like to have this on standby. And then I have some graphics that are already set up that you can download from Amazon's Education Hub. Graphics like "Don't forget to follow," graphics like "Ask me questions in the chat." So I like to use their graphics because of the branding. Down below that, I have my video input sources and my audio sources. And I like to just make sure that everything is working properly, make sure my audio levels are working, which they all seem to be, and everything is looking great. Now, in addition to using Wirecast as my live streaming platform of choice today, I'm also going to be bringing in a platform called Switchboard, which is going to allow me to distribute my live stream to Facebook and YouTube and more easily redirect those people back to my Amazon live show. That's really the goal. I want to get as many people to watch my Amazon live as possible. So this software is what I'm going to use to pull that off. So I'm going to connect my Wirecast software to Switchboard and then connect Switchboard to Amazon Live. So in order to do this, I'll need to go into my output settings of Wirecast. And typically I would go directly to Amazon Live, which is already configured. But I also have configured Switchboard. Once I have that selected, select OK. Make sure I have my Switchboard account set up. And I'm going to just do a quick test to make sure that everything is working properly before I go live. So I'm going to select Start Streaming on my Wirecast app and make sure that this signal is getting sent to Switchboard. So now that I've confirmed my stream is being sent over the Switchboard, I'm going to select my social channels that I want to go live to and share. So I'm going to add Facebook as a new destination. Authorize my account. Select my profile. And close. Now that Facebook is added, I'll add my next destination, which will be YouTube. Authorize my account there. And close and finish. So now not only will I be going live to Amazon, I'll also be going live to my personal Facebook and my YouTube channels to redirect everyone to watch on Amazon Live, because that's the ideal platform that I want everyone to watch this show on. Now it's going to be great that my Facebook friends are going to be able to watch, but they won't be able to make direct purchases on Amazon. So I really want them to come see me on Amazon. And it's great for YouTube because YouTube, people are already used to watching me on that platform like you are right now. And people are going to be more likely to click on links and actually go to Amazon, because anytime I refer a product that I like that helps you all out, you typically click on the link in the description and go to Amazon. So it's going to be an easy maneuver for you to move from YouTube over to Amazon. So now, instead of having one audience, I'm really combining 3 audiences. Now that we have the software set up, I want to show you some of the hardware that I use to actually go live to the Amazon platform. Now, I have a mini studio here and I have a lot of equipment, so don't feel that you need every single piece of equipment just to go live to Amazon. Because remember, in the app, you can go directly from your mobile device, which is what a lot of people do. But I really want to stand out. I really want to get the attention of brands and sponsors to collaborate on products. I want to collaborate on multiple live streams showcasing their amazing products. So I have a little bit more equipment here and I want to show them to you right now. So let's first start with the cameras, and my main camera sits right behind this teleprompter. It's a Sony a6400 with a 30mm lens, and it looks a little something like this. So it gives me that high definition, that blurry background effect. So it's my main shot that I'm looking at when I'm talking to my live stream audience. Not only do I have one Sony a6400 camera, but I also have a second a6400 camera that sits right here. This has a 16mm 1.4 aperture lens on it that gives me that same blurry background effect, and the autofocus is super quick. So these are my 2 high definition cameras. They're able to record at 4K, which is an awesome bonus as well. Even though Amazon won't let us stream at 4K, it's still having this quality of picture that makes the live streams just look so much better. In addition to my a6400 cameras, I also use PTZ Optics pan, tilt, and zoom cameras. This is a 12x camera that allows me to look around the room. And this is my 20x USB PTZ camera that lets me do the same thing. Now, I kind of prefer this 20x USB because it's USB and it can actually plug directly into my computer if I wanted to. Both of these cameras are controlled by my PTZ SuperJoy controller that allows me to pan, tilt, and zoom. So by just simply connecting them, selecting my camera, I can go up, down, left, and right. So having the controller close by allows me to really get all the different angles here in the room. Next up, I have another PTZ camera, and this is a box camera. So it doesn't pan, tilt, and zoom, but it gives me that nice behind the scenes shot that a lot of people like to see, especially when I'm talking about my monitor. And speaking of monitors, I use this big 49-inch Samsung CRG9 monitor. Now, it's great for live streaming, but I really use it for productivity with spreadsheets and Word documents. But when it comes to live streaming on Amazon, it allows me to see everything. I can monitor my live stream, I can monitor the chat comments, I can have other things on the screen in one location without having to constantly minimize and try to find different windows. So it really does come in handy to have either one large screen or have two screens, because being able to monitor your live streaming platforms and the live output is something that I would encourage you to consider. In addition to the CRG9 monitors, I also have some additional monitors that I use to just make sure that everything is working correctly. And these additional monitors right here are 13-inch monitors, 1, 2, and 3, that I use for hybrid live streaming events. So I actually go out and live stream on behalf of clients and have everything controlled here. And this system also works great here at home as well, because I'm constantly testing and making sure things work. So I've kind of incorporated it into my live streaming setup sometimes. These monitors are controlled by this ATEM switcher device. Now, if you want to have multiple cameras like I'm using, you can do it a couple different ways, but the easiest way is to use a dedicated switcher. This one allows for 8 inputs, and because I have a bunch of cameras, I'm bringing in my iPad in some cases as well. I have my laptop connected too. It allows me to really bring in a lot of different inputs, but they actually make this in a 4-input device. So if you just wanted to use 2 cameras or up to 4 cameras, you could get a device like the ATEM Mini and plug in 4 different cameras and easily be able to switch with the click of a button from one to this shot just by using a click of a button. Makes it so much easier than doing a whole bunch of software clicks with the mouse and the keyboard, making it simple in your live stream, and that way your audience doesn't even realize that you're working behind the scenes. Now, one camera that I didn't quite mention yet is because it's the newest device here, but it is my OBSBOT, which is a tracking camera. It's an AI tracking camera, which is USB connected directly to my Mac Mini. Now, this camera allows me to walk around the room and automatically follow me. So if you did not see the unboxing video that I did on Amazon Live about that particular camera, I'll link to that in the description below, because if you have one USB webcam, this would be a solid solution to replace it, because it literally follows you, zooms in and zooms out with hand gestures. So pretty awesome device there. The last but definitely not the least important piece of equipment that I use for live streaming is my iPad. Now, those of you that have already been live streaming on Amazon know that in order to change the products in your product carousel, you have to be on the app and select it. Now, you can do this from your mobile device, but I prefer the iPad because it's just bigger. Also allows me to monitor comments there as well. So if I want to put it off to the side, I can, but I just like having the iPad close by because it's a lot easier to change items on the carousel. I do keep my phone right next to me as well, but you know, sometimes bigger is better. So I've shown you the software side, I've shown you the hardware that I use. Now it's time to get ready to go into live stream mode. And I have about 1 hour remaining. So I like to just mentally prep before that. I like to make sure that I get my energy up. I like to make sure that I go through my product carousel just to get an idea and familiarize myself if anything is on a lightning deal or on sale. But because I've talked about these products so often, it makes it so much easier to do a live stream about them. So I definitely encourage you to repeat your live streams. If it's a product that you love and enjoy, it's a lot easier to talk about them for extended amounts of time. And again, the longer you talk, the more viewers that will come onto your live stream and the more commissions that you are capable of earning, because you're going to get exposed to more people. But now that everything's set up, you're going to start to see the behind the scenes of getting ready to go live and some of the actual live stream itself. And then I'll see you at the end of the video. So it's about roughly 7 minutes before my scheduled start time. Now, I like to get started on time. That's part of the reason I use a countdown timer, like I mentioned, just to make sure everything is running well. But if you don't use a countdown timer and for some reason you're running late, good thing, because Amazon really doesn't hold you to a tight window of going live at that specific time. So if you're going a couple minutes over, you don't have to reschedule a brand new stream or anything like that. You can just still hit start streaming and go live to the platform. So I'm kind of doing my last minute checks here, make sure my camera's on, got my lights working, audio meters are working great. I like to check on Amazon itself and just make sure my feed is showing there as scheduled stream. So this is my actual stream. And then I get to see some of the other live streamers here on the platform, which I know many of them because they're all inside of our Amazon Live Creators Facebook group. So if you're brand new to Amazon Live, make sure you check the link in the description of this video to get inside of our Amazon Live Creators Facebook group. We have over 800 people inside of that group, live streamers as well as brands. So if you're looking to connect and get sponsorship, great place to meet new people, strategize on how to do that, because we do that as well, and actually connect with the brands directly. Making sure that I'm good to go here on Amazon, seeing who's going live right now. And now I'm going to just shift over here to make sure that I've got everything I need to go, and got my thumbnail with my countdown timer, and we're good to go. Audio's coming through on my live streaming software. So I got 5 minutes on the clock here. So what I'm gonna do now is actually schedule or push this live, really, essentially. So I'm going to make sure that I have this off and send this live, hit start streaming on Wirecast so I can send this feed over to Switchboard. I control my laptop and my iMac with the same keyboard, so I'm just gonna check on Facebook and bring up my Facebook profile because I'm going to live stream on Facebook as well, and YouTube. So let me get a clean stream going over here. So now I'm going to hit go live and send my feed to Amazon, Facebook, and YouTube. Now, the benefit of the countdown timer is to make sure everything is working. So I have about 3.5 minutes to really just make sure everything's dialed in properly. So I'm going to wait for YouTube to populate, wait for Facebook to populate, and then check on Amazon and make sure everything is showing up on each of those platforms. I'm going to refresh my Amazon page because I like to look at my comments in chat. And this is the main reason for testing. I'm trying to figure out why Amazon Live isn't showing. So I need to go into my app and actually start the Amazon Live feed. And awesome. So now I'm showing up on over here on Amazon. And let's check YouTube and Facebook. So all systems are go, about 40 seconds left. And once you do this enough times, practice mode is always a great thing. So you make sure everything's working. So YouTube monitoring there, Facebook monitoring there, and Amazon Live monitoring there. And we go live in 20 seconds officially. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Monte Weaver here, and welcome. We are going to be talking about live stream equipment, live streaming gear. I'm going to take you and bring you in behind the scenes of my setup, talk about different elements of this setup that I use on a regular daily basis, essentially. I truly hope you all received a lot of value from this video, the entire process. But I want you to let me know in the comments section, what was your favorite part of the video, or where did you get the most value? Was it from the software side? Was it from the thought processes? Maybe it was a piece of equipment that you were really interested in. Let me know in the comment section, and definitely check out the rest of the videos here on the channel. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one.